I have a question for you, Judy.
Yeah.
Do you purposefully put your head to a certain side of the camera just to show off your fucking squishmallows?
Yes and no because
I knew it!
well, wait. Before you get onto your yelling tantrum, there's nothing over here is what I'm trying to say. So it looks kind of weird. So I'm like, I don't like this empty space right here next to my head. So
Nah, very feng shui of you.
anyways.
Welcome to a conversation with Judy and Ryan right here on YouTube at TABPOD. That's wherever we're visual, anywhere that you want to see us at TABPOD. If you want to listen, just use the ear holies. Then it's a conversation with Judy and Ryan. It's a whole backstory to that. Okay, just if you want to see at TABPOD. Ooh, it even rhymes. I got bars for days. Look at that. If you want to see at TABPOD, let's go. Let's hit it. Oh my God. Speaking of rapping, just real quick.
Oh.
I have a hand sign now. I have like my own Las Vegas hand sign, right? And so it's very hard to understand, but it's 702 because this right here is a 7. And then in the middle, it's a O. And then these two little things are the 2. 702. Let's go. Let's get it all day.
I don't see the 7, but all right.
Well, it's my fucking index finger, so it's hot, like, and it's also probably mirrored from your aspect. So there you go. There's a 7. Okay. Look, I can do it on both hands. There you go. Bam. What's up? I haven't been practicing anyway. Remember, we are trying to grow. We are on the road to 100 on YouTube, 100 subscribers. So please make sure to like, share, subscribe. But honestly, no matter what. If you want to do anything, biggest thing that you can do is obviously share it. And my favorite way is just wherever you are, just yell, full deep breath, like really inhale, right? And then just yell, listen to a conversation with Judy and Ryan. You know, the other thing you can do, I had 2 friends tell me last week that this got them promoted at work. They put in the subject line, listening to a conversation with Judy and Ryan of an email, send it to every single person on the staff. That's how you go from mailroom clerk to senior restroom attendant. Let's go. Come on. Good job, Joseph. Woo! Good for you, buddy. Oh.
Wow.
We like to have fun here. We do like to have fun.
Oh, man.
I can't believe I lost my notebook with all the things to remind me how I don't like how you've been coming at me this week.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
I don't, cause like you be putting stuff in the chat for possible topics, and I feel like a lot of them have been coming at me this week, especially the one about the parking. Okay, I don't need to feel judged. I don't need to feel judged by you every single day about the way that I like to park my car. Okay.
Yeah. So let me tell you, my hot take is people who back their cars into parking spots think they're better than everyone else.
No, we do not.
Hold on. I say this because I am also one of those people who back their cars into parking spots.
So you just feel superior to people.
Yes. So I did this.
Yes.
Yes, I do actually. So, like I mentioned before, I park in the same parking spot area at work. And one of the VPs that I work with, I know what his car looks like, and he'll always pull, just regularly park in the parking spots. The other day, I was backing into my parking spot, and he was pulling right behind me, and he also decided to back his car into a parking spot. And so we just kind of looked at each other. I was like, did the little hey, and nudge. But see, I'm telling you, it's just I
still don't understand where in that story, and I might have missed it, but I don't understand where in that story it depicts that you feel superior to anyone.
Well, I mean, there was another occurrence where I backed into a parking spot in between two cars, and the lady was still in her other car, and she kind of looked at me like, "Why are you like backing into a parking spot?" And I'm just like, "Here's me and my little." I don't know why. All right, look, I'm just saying, it is what it is. People, it's just a fun fact now. People,
it's not a fun fact. It is a fallacy.
It's a fun fact.
No, because I specifically, you know why I like to back into my parking spot?
Because it's easier to get out of the parking spot.
Exactly. That's the only reason. It's the same reason that when I go to a big convenient or a big shopping plaza with a huge parking lot, I don't back in, but I drive into the section so that I can just pull out. Like, instead of parking in the normal spot, I drive through the normal spot into the next spot so that I can just pull out when I leave. It has nothing to do with feeling superior. Judy, what's going on? Okay.
I had really no big argument there. It's just saying that people.
What's going on in your life that you feel this need to be superior to people? What's going on? Are you feeling like you're not listened to at home? I know that's not true because Keith is fucking Wonder Man when it comes to being a husband. Are you feeling not listened to at work? Is that what's happening? Do you think they're plotting on you still? Is this your way?
Why did you say, no, my job is not plotting against me, Ryan. I understand.
Don't gaslight me and say that I'm making this up. We have a whole TikTok feed.
We did. But now it's over. It's months already.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, what's going on that parking backwards makes you, that's what gives you your superiority over people?
It's just my hot take. It's a hot take, Ryan. It's, if we weren't more superior, then people would do it more often, all right?
No. What I will say...
No.
Exactly.
No.
What I will say, it's not that we're more superior, as that we're less lazy. I will definitely give that to you. I will definitely, you have to be less lazy to back your car in. But the other thing too, I really do think, does your car have a backup cam?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I do think that regardless of age, I mean, obviously if you're younger, you're going to skew more towards it. But if your vehicle has a backup cam, you are more prone to being okay with backing your car up. Because I used to occasionally back my car in pre-backup cam. But I didn't really like it. It was always a little awkward. You're always like, I hope I'm not going to hit this car right next to me. With the backup cam, I know within 3 fucking millimeters if I'm going to need to make an insurance claim. So I feel much more comfortable. Wow. Now, what I will say with that is that sometimes I'll be trusting the backup cam too much and I don't get my lines right. And I'm like way too close to one side of the parking line. Yeah, and I got to get out and be like, ugh. But also, I'm just really bad at parking. So, that's on me.
I don't know. I've always, even pre-backup camera, I've always liked to just back my car. I think I've gotten used to it. And that's because how my dad taught me.
Oh, so this is where the superiority comes from. It comes from your father. Your father's like, Judy, if you don't back your car in, you're fucking nothing to me, okay? So now you better learn to do it right so you can be a proper daughter. I get what's going on. This is a usually the show is my therapy.
It's more of those deeper causes here. We just dig in.
Exactly. You know how usually the show is my therapy. Today is your therapy. Yeah, today is your therapy. It's okay. Okay. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about it later with the colorism too. Okay. Okay.
God, wow, this is just all about Judy today, guys.
It is, guys. Buckle up because we are gonna dive deep into the psyche that is Queen Judy. Okay. Okay. And
probably should get a real therapist also.
And then, as the Lord Drizzle King, I will declare Judy cured But that'll come later. That'll come
Cured.
later. Yeah, because this is your therapy session.
I don't think you get cured. Is that the term?
I mean,
Better?
you might. Look, man, I'm a king. I could declare whatever I want. Don't argue with the king. God.
Wow, we've seen it twice today.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not even like 10 minutes into the show.
One was for you and one was against you. Good Lord, Judy. This therapy session is just a thrashing of emotions right now.
I don't know. My headspace, it's just because, I've been off today and it's like a rotting day.
Yeah, for wondering why she was off today. Today, we are recording on the 4th of July, which is also, you might hear some pips and pops in the background as the show continues. But yeah, Judy's in a different kind of headspace. I think also it's not helping that like her day was the exact opposite of the way that my day went, in which she was just like lounging and doing whatever. And I was like, CEO, no days off, baby. And I was up stupid late last night too. I was editing at like midnight 30 last night just because I couldn't sleep. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. We're going back to work because we're American. We work hard.
Oh, we had like 12 new clips in the drive. I go, damn, he was busy.
Well, full disclosure, I had cut most of those the day before, but the longer ones I cut last night. Anyway, that's all. Nobody cares about how the hot dog is made, okay? They just want to eat the meats.
Need more meat stick.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, Judy.
Always. Can never go wrong. There's not too many.
No, there's only one. She only needs one. that one is key.
I'm talking about for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could eat more meat sticks all day. I'll just bring on the meat sticks. Oh, God. Oh, God.
It's
all
like
right.
that.
No.
With all the hot dogs getting thrown in your face.
No. Okay, before the meat stick talk takes us completely off the rails.
Yes.
Judy, I feel like this week for me was a tale of two movies. Because at the end of last week, I saw Inside Out 2.
Me too.
And then last night, I watched the new Beverly Hills Cop movie on Netflix, right?
Ooh, okay. Mm-hmm.
So, in watching Inside Out 2, I have this article because I am so professional.
Yes.
Inside Out 2 becomes first movie of 2024 to hit $1 billion at the global box office.
Wow.
That doesn't surprise me. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say it was a great movie. It was a really good movie. I would say it was a B+ movie. It got you from point A to point B successfully, and I think it gave you good feels. Like Inside Out 1 gave you all the feels, right?
Yeah, yes. Yes.
And this one is like, oh, I can relate to that kind of feels.
Yeah.
The only issue that I had with this movie specifically was that they basically the parents just give up. They're just like, I guess we're stuck with this bitch for the next 15 years, whatever.
Yes. That is how they acted.
In the first movie... In the first movie, they at least their emotions were trying to figure out how to fix what was going on with the kid to make it. And this one, they're just like, high school, right? See you in 8 years.
Bam, puberty.
Yeah. And that was the one thing I didn't like, just because this one, the first movie talks about understanding your emotions and how to deal with them or how they affect you and all that stuff. This one was more about the core values and how your emotions and memories make up those core values of who you are as a person. Mm-hmm. And the fact that the parents were so uninvolved with that really pissed me off. Really. Yeah. And not just because I take a lot of pride in trying to make sure that my kid has, all the confidence in the world and also tries to be a good person and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. That's something I put a lot of time and effort into my parenting with him. And that's something that I have worked on to make sure that I've that I can transmit that to him. But also, like, I mean, look at me. I didn't just wake up this way, okay? Like, there was a road path. And I'm not saying that any of my parents did anything bad, because honestly, I know that they love me and they all did the very best that they could. But I got 3 fucking dads, okay? Something had to go weird along the way for you to have 3 dads. When people ask me, when people ask me, oh, you have 3 of them? And I break it down, they're just like, they look at me and go, oh my God, you should write a book. You've lived a life, my friend. At whatever like, nondescript 30s age you're at. Yeah, now we know why. Judy, you also saw Inside Out. What'd you think of it?
I liked it. I thought it was a little weird that, you were right about the whole parents thing, and then they kind of like shipped her off to hockey camp. Like, I mean, she's going through like a traumatic change in her life. Just go to hockey camp. Like, I forgot what her name was. I was gonna say, go to hockey camp, son, but daughter, yeah. And I did like the way they depicted anxiety. I was like, wow, is that really how? Like, I kind of could see, like, wow, that like it's very very surreal to see it on screen on how they depicted it. So
I will admit, like, wow. The emotions that they brought in with anxiety, they just like in the first one, I do think that the way that the people that they casted and the way that they were directed, I think they nailed that. I think anxiety was awesome, because that is literally how it works, in which it starts off so slow and then it builds up and it builds up and it builds up and it builds up and it builds up. And by the end of it, you feel frozen in anxiety, right? Yeah. So I thought that was great. I thought that I can't remember what all the emotions were, but the big one that didn't speak. Embarrassment. Yeah. Where it's like he's so big, and then they even with his clothes, because he's got a hoodie that's obviously big enough for him, but it's not because it doesn't cover his belly. Like, And then I called her sarcasm. I know that's not what it was. Boredom or whatever. Like, I thought it was a little bit stuff. Why she gotta be French? Why she gotta be French? Yeah, I thought about that too. And then I'm the old lady. Nostalgia. Oh my God, I love that. I felt bad for Nostalgia, because they the whole time was like, no, not yet. It's too early. No. Yeah. Oh, it's a running gag. Wow. It's a running gag throughout the movie that anytime Nostalgia comes out, they keep telling her why it's too early for her to be there, and keep hushing her out or shooing her out of the room. So the other movie, like I said, that I saw was Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. Which I didn't even know was a movie. I thought it was a TV, like a series that they decided to make from the movie franchise. I really do wish that they had not made this movie. This was not a good movie. Was it bad? It's not even bad. The other movie's good? Like the first one, everyone says obviously. First one was great. The second one is, I would say the second one is just like Inside Out 2. Nothing special. B+ hits all the right notes, right? The third one, it slid, right? This one, it's not that this is a bad movie. It's just that it's a C- movie, which to me feels even worse. Like, it's below average, okay? The first thing that I wasn't a huge fan of, I feel like Eddie Murphy, it might be the way the movie was shot, because for whatever reason, the emotion of a lot of stuff was sucked out of it. There was not a lot of emotion. Even though they were trying to be emotional, I couldn't get emotion out of it. I don't know if that was because the editor or director there was a lot of cuts in this movie. Like, it was like, cut to this, 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 cut to this. Like, it was happening so much. So I don't know if that was the reason that the emotion got taken out of it or whatever, but it didn't hit on that. I also, and this is based not just on this movie, but the last 3 movies of his that I've seen. I might have missed. Oh, I know that I missed the one with Jonah Hill and Laura London. Laura London, where they're like dating or whatever, and the families don't like each other because he's black or he's white and she's black. So
yeah,
Jonah Hill black. This guy,
Celsius Kiwi Guava Sparkling
it's
Energy
the blackest thing I've ever heard. Let's go. Throw the 702 up. Let's go. All right.
Oh my God.
But the last 3 movies I've seen, which were Coming to America 2, Candy Cane Lane, and now this, I just don't think that Eddie Murphy's funny anymore. I don't think he puts the same level of energy into it. He's not comical, because I could see in one scene he's doing a Jamaican accent, and I could see where if he like tried a little harder, it could be funny. But instead, it's just like, why are we here? Okay. It did have a huge ensemble cast. And that's another thing, because I was surprised of all the people that were in it. Not only did it bring back the people who had been in other movies, like Eddie Murphy, obviously, John Ashton, Paul Reiser, Bronson Pinchot, but it also brought in Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Taylor Page, who plays Axel Foley's daughter, and then Kevin Bacon was also in it. I mean, it was a star-studded ensemble cast, okay?
So they had some budget.
They had a huge budget. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know, with all of that acting goodness, why there was no emotion. I could barely feel any emotion from anything. And that comes from the comedy aspect, too. The EP watched it with me. She laughed twice. Neither of them were because of Eddie Murphy. One of them was because Joseph Gordon-Levitt had this weird fucking accent that he was doing. So his character plays a cop who was born / kind of grew up in Chicago and then was completely raised in California. And yet he's got this weird, like, almost Florida man type accent where it's not, it's like not Southern, but it kind of is Southern. It's like, where the hell is this coming from?
It's like a mistake he did, and then they're like, okay, guess we just got to keep
exactly. It was like the director was like, we're doing everything in one take. That might have been what it is. That might have been it, is that the director was like, no, we got it. Eddie, you did your Jamaican accent? You were awesome. Let's go. We're good. Oh.
You know, they had the budget, but they didn't have the time. They had to get this movie out as soon as possible.
And the other thing I didn't like is that the script, they wrote the script to serve the script, in my opinion. And by that, I mean, they added stuff to Axel Foley's backstory that have never been a part of his backstory. Okay? Like, so, and I say that the whole overtone, and I say overtone because they were hammering it about fathers and their children and how fathers should, the relationship that you have with, and it's not just the fact that he has an estranged relationship with his daughter, because that's something that you work in, or that's something that gets worked in almost all movies that have a parent and a child thing, right?
Yeah.
But it's not just that. It's that everyone else also has an issue somehow with their dad or their parent. Yeah. Or their children, depending on the situation. Because for JGL, he had an issue with his dad. Kevin Bacon, everything, my family was taken away from me. Like, it was so heavy-handed with this.
Wow.
And in order to serve that, they added stuff to Axel Foley's character that I just don't think has ever been prevalent. Not saying that it couldn't be there, but it's never been prevalent in the 3 movies we've seen before, in which, have you seen any of the movies?
No.
Okay, well, early on they talk about how when she was young, Axel would have her do all of these drills in case something happened. Like, so now she knows how to get out of handcuffs or how to escape a trunk of a car or anything. And don't get me wrong, The character Axel Foley, I always thought of him as someone who took justice seriously and would do whatever it took, in his opinion, to get the job done. But he didn't strike me as someone who would be waking his daughter up at 5 a.m. to run police drills.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I'm saying when I say that the script seemed like it was written to serve itself. But yeah, man, I mean, honestly, I'm just sad. Another thing, I think this is affecting him in general. He won't do the laugh. He won't do it at all. He refuses to do it now. He's told people in interviews that he felt like the laugh was becoming its own character. And now the thing that I love, though, I haven't told anyone this. The EP, when she's really, really going, she's got that laugh. She just...
Stop. No, she doesn't.
She will say she doesn't. But that's my house all the time.
I remember that text on Tuesday morning saying, I don't laugh like that.
She's going to say that for sure. She lying.
Oh, yeah.
That's her. That's her every time. Oh, so yeah, I mean that one, it was a miss for me.
Are we gonna say Eddie Murphy is getting washed?
I don't.
Is that where you're trying? Is that what
I
we're
mean,
going with?
maybe.
He's like hit his prime, and now it's just kind of like, who is this man?
Well, that's what I just don't think that he's putting in the effort like he used to. Or maybe he didn't used to put in the effort and it was just so natural to him. And now he doesn't. Because you got to remember.
I feel like maybe he was just forced back into the workforce.
Well, I don't disagree with that. Somewhere I feel like he needs to make money somewhere, right? I don't have anything to substantiate that. But like... You got to remember, Beverly Hills Cop 1 was made 40 years ago. Okay? Eddie Murphy doesn't look it, but he's basically the same age as the dudes who are running for president. Like, he doesn't have that same energy like he used to.
Of course,
and that's what I mean. But he looks amazing. Look at this IMDb photo. This is probably from like 10 years ago, but still, look at that. He's pretty. That's a pretty man. And that's how he looks, honestly, in the movie. He looks just like that in the movie. So you don't think of him as an old dude, but he is. He's been making movies since the early 80s or the mid 80s or whatever.
Mid 80s, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay. We got to kind of rush through this because I took too long with the movies, but I didn't know that Hard Knocks had moved into off-season stuff. I had just
with the Giants,
because
right?
I was this whole time I've been waiting for Hard Knocks and the Bears to come out with Caleb Williams, all that stuff, and then this week I'm seeing stuff where like the Giants are releasing all these clips from Hard Knocks, and I'm like, why? Did I miss something? And yes, I had missed something. They're doing a whole new season of Hard Knocks, a whole new show of Hard Knocks, I should say, in which they do the off season, and this time it was the New York Giants. And they're doing the New York Giants for the postseason or the preseason, off season.
Oh, okay.
One of the seasons.
So they're doing an off season, a preseason, and an in season this year, or
do they? I don't know about the in. Have they done Hard Knocks in season?
Yeah, they did the in season
I guess
for the
so.
Cardinals last year, I think.
I guess I don't watch the in season one because, in my opinion, if you do the in season, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You can't concentrate with all those cameras in your. You'll never see the Kansas City Chiefs doing an in-season fucking Hard Knocks, right?
Yeah, Hard Knocks just expanding their series line here.
So
okay.
I had an idea because 2 minutes into this thing, I was like, "This is boring. This is stupid." Because unlike in regular Hard Knocks, and I'm sure in season, where the players, even if they're trying to be professional, emotions can get the best of them and some things can come out of pocket, or they're just personalities, right? This is like a 45-minute infomercial for how hard the New York Giants work. That's for how
they
hard.
They paid at HBO to get this done.
That's what it felt like this whole time. So what I did is I went and I had our producer get us some high notes. Okay. And
Okay.
I remembered last time the failure of this was that I had her give notes on something that was already giving notes.
Right.
So this time, no, we are going Hard Knocks, off-season New York Giants. All right.
Okay.
What I had her do is I had her do notes on the whole show, and then she had 10 minutes to, while still high, 10 minutes to break those notes down into 10 things.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
So, Giants GM is Joe Schmo. His name is Joe Shane, but when she read it, but it's spelled Schoen. So when she saw it, her brain diffused, and it was just Joe Schmo.
Easy.
6-11 season, ouch, which is what they went last year.
Yep.
The GM Joe Schmo talks about PB&J, full caps right here, a lot. I'm slightly concerned. I mean, yeah.
Was that a metaphor he was using, or was he just like?
So that's his poverty story. Like when he was up and coming, he would make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and that would be his lunch and breakfast for the day. And excuse me. And it just was something that he never stopped doing. So now he's like doing the interview in the car with an Uncrustable. He's telling his wife to make PB&J. Like it was a bit, at one point I was like, bro, I just think you like PB&J. I don't think that it has anything to do with how you came up. I think you just like a good old fashioned peanut butter, some strawberry, some bread. Let's go. That's the feeling.
Yeah.
But he'll never admit that because, you got to have I came up from the tough roots.
It's sob stories always. Yeah.
Daniel Jones ain't even that good. What that is in reference to, I have no idea, but that's what she put.
We be knowing, EP. We be knowing.
M vibing with the music. She got that. And she started vibing.
I can't wait till that sound comes back.
Oh, wait. This one? No. Sports. Yeah, from our ESPN theme. Come on. Not Joe Schmo fired 2 defensive assistants and their coordinator said, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Did he really say that?
So apparently what happened was Joe Shane fired 2 defensive assistants and the defensive coordinator just walked out. He said, screw this, I'm out, and just walked out of the facility, didn't do the proper resignation stuff. So that's how it was delivered.
Love that for you, Giants.
just out of nowhere. Hey, Frank Gore. Yeah, he showed up because he was on 70 fucking teams, so of course he knows the GM of the Giants.
What was he doing there?
He was honestly just talking to the GM. That's what I'm saying. Everything was just how they're always grinding, how everything is. They're just talking about running backs.
Okay.
This is Shane's grandma who loves Hartman. Not sure in the right way to be determined. What? What's the right way? So Hartman is I want to say he's the quarterback out of Notre Dame, at least was at that point. Okay. What the right way is, I don't know. Okay. What was she thinking? I think that she means that it's not okay for grandmas to have sex, which is not. Grandmas are allowed to have sex, okay?
Okay. I don't know where that came.
Because it says not sure in the right way to be determined. What does that mean?
Moving on.
I don't think she understood the concept of how time works on this show. Okay. So still no running back. And I say that because a lot of the issues in the timeline that was the first show couldn't have been solved yet. So they couldn't have free agency hadn't really opened up yet. So they couldn't have they couldn't have replaced their running back or gotten one.
Okay.
And then last one, and this was probably my favorite. I did not understand any of that financial mumbo jumbo.
The financial mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, player salaries and cap costs
caps,
and just
I get it.
I didn't really think that it was too much, but yeah, here we are.
Yeah. Alrighty, Pete. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. From your reaction, I don't think that segment's going to be making a return. So we will go straight into Am I Overreacting?
Woo.
All right. I think I got a good one this week.
Okay.
Am I overreacting to my BF not checking on his family? My BF and I have been together for 10 years. He has 2 sisters that happen to both be in the hospital right now for separate conditions. They have been in the hospital closer to 2 weeks at this point. One is heavily sedated. The other is able to speak, but the only time he calls to check in on the one is if I nag him for hours. His words, rolling eyes emoji. And he gets annoyed into finally calling. He hasn't even called his brother-in-law to check on the other one or the other sister or his nieces and nephews because he didn't like his brother-in-law. I've told him that this isn't a time to like somebody. You need to care about your sister. Was off last week and every weekend, so I need to keep telling, God, I can't read right now. Was off last weekend this week, and every weekend, so I keep telling him he needs to make time to go see them. He keeps making excuses like he doesn't want to leave me all day, he doesn't want to take the kids, and even though I have a solution to his BS excuses, he still doesn't go. So today I've been bugging him and he's angry with me because now he has to go see them. I'm so disgusted with him right now. I don't even want to look at him. How can he just not give a shit? He knows I have a chronically ill mom and I had to quit my job to be able to care for her, and my siblings don't even call her or me to check in, let alone go see her. And we constantly say how awful it is that they don't come around and it all falls on me. But here he is doing it to his family. Am I overreacting?
I need to know if they all live in the same state or even in the same county. I get it if they don't have time to see each other because they all live in different parts of the country. I get that.
Okay.
But but also coming from the family that I was raised, I think it's also kind of weird to me that you don't check in on your siblings and they're in the hospital. So
okay.
I'm gonna say that she's rightfully acting.
Rightfully acting. Okay.
Yeah.
I will, in the same way that you need an extra piece, I'm going to insert an extra piece.
Okay.
Because she at no point ever talked about the relationship that he has with his family. We don't know why he doesn't want to. If he legitimately just is whatever, they'll be fine probably. What? I mean, my brother-in-law, I asked him for a beer and he said I had enough. Are you serious? I had enough? I'm not talking to him. If that's the case,
yeah,
then 100% she is reacting accordingly. But the thing is, a lot of people don't understand this. For a lot of people, just because someone is blood to you doesn't mean that they are your family. Okay? Yeah. With family, a respect on both sides has to be given and has to be earned. So I don't know why he doesn't like his sisters or just that side of the family or whatever. He might have a reason to. I would have felt a lot better about it if she had just said he has no reason to not like his family and not support them.
Right.
And to a different degree, something like this happened to me. It wasn't family, but it was someone who everyone thought I was a good enough friend that I should have reached out and said something. Because there was a person who I used to work with, and he taught me a lot of stuff in radio, and a lot of people would consider him my mentor in a lot of aspects of it, right? Mm-hmm. And at one point, a long time after I was working with him and everything, but at one point he got cancer. And people were like, oh yeah, you're going to reach out? You're going to say anything? I was like, no, I'm not saying shit to him.
No.
And you know why? It was because, and I put all these things together after the fact, he was a shitty person. And I say was, I don't know where he is right now. So was. But after I got
like,
promoted,
Did he?
Yeah, after I got promoted at my job doing certain things, the same jokes that I used to make, now they offended him. And now he would go and talk behind my back to a lot of people. And now I've turned into a different person because of all these things. Oh, by the way, he could never come and talk to me directly. He would have to go and talk to everyone else.
Yeah.
Oh, there's more. After I get divorced, guess whose DMs he drops into?
Not your ex-wife.
Yes, my ex-wife.
Oof.
And I don't even care about that because, honestly, if he was going to lay the pipe and she was going to be happy and leave me the fuck alone for a couple minutes, cool. It's fine. Do whatever. I support that. But the stuff that he would say to her, he would talk about me, I should say, like I was the bully in an 80s rom-com, right? Oh, he never treated you right. And I just didn't understand what he had that I didn't have and why he could have you and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about right now? Oh, not to mention, like, I was full on married probably 6 months into that job working there. Like, me and my ex had been together for a very long time at that point. So for him to just think that, I came in and I just threw my dick on the table one day and she fawned all over me and that was it. Like, and that's what I'm saying. I put all these things together about who he really was and how he really thought about me. And when I found out they had cancer, like, don't get it twisted. I wasn't here like, oh my God, if he could die, I'd be so happy. Like, and make it painful. Make it bone cancer, right? I wasn't here saying that. But at the same time, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I'm not going to reach out to him and say, hey, I don't care if you get better. I don't care if you don't get better. Like, you don't exist to me anymore. And while I get that that's someone that I work with compared to family, same thing. Like, if he feels like, justified or not, if he feels like everyone in his family treated him like a piece of shit and as a result doesn't want to be around them, then he shouldn't have to. Right? Regardless of, you could say, oh, Ryan, you're going to feel bad. No, you're not sometimes. Sometimes you cut out cancers from your life. There are people in my family. I know I'm probably like hold up too much. But there are people in my family that live across the country that I've tried a couple times to let them into my life. And every single time, it blows up some terrible way. So you know what? I just don't care anymore. I'm going to stop trying now because that's what makes my life easier. That's what makes my life happier and gives me better energy and all that stuff. So, maybe the one is in a coma because like she was talking shit to the wrong person. She got hit in the head. I'm just saying, I don't know if that's a fact. I don't know, but it could have happened.
I mean, wow, that's a little extreme, but like,
what? Like, hit
she was in a coma. I mean, bro, maybe you should say something.
Well,
I don't know. That's a little different subject there. But again, family dynamics are their own family.
Yeah,
dynamics.
And it's tough not knowing. Like the odds are forever not in my favor on this one, and that he is just being a douche, right? Yeah. But I'm not going to, especially with, like I said, the family dynamics that I have had over the course of my lifetime. I am not going to assume anything. Yeah. So, all right, when we come back, what was it? Judy's issue with colorism.
Not my issue, but we gonna go with it.
And a bunch of other fun stuff. We'll be right back. It's a conversation with Judy and Ryan. Woo! All right, I'm not gonna lie. The end of that show, or end of that segment, not my best work, okay? Not my best work, but we're going to prevail. We're going to persevere. Give me another P word, Judy.
Push forward.
Yes, we're going to push forward. Welcome back to a conversation with Judy and Ryan right here at TABPOD, wherever you want to see us visually. If you want to listen to the conversation via audio podcast form, wherever you do it, just a conversation with Judy and Ryan. Remember, we are small. We are on the road to 100 subscribers.
Yay.
And, you know, I put out as much content as I can. Judy puts out as much content as she can. So if you're able to do it, if you could share the content that we put out there, appreciate it. If you want to if you don't want to do that, but you still want to do your part, then you can always, wherever you're at, if you're in a nice deli, if you're in a deli, like where my picture hopefully should be, because I'm a good chap. If you're in one of those delis, just out of nowhere, just listen to a conversation with Judy and Ryan. You don't have to say anything other than that. People ask you what you're talking about. Be like, leave me alone. I don't know you. You don't have to say anything else. You know, but it'll be in their brain.
Mm-hmm.
If you're at work, obviously, we don't want you getting in trouble for just randomly yelling at people. I mean, I can do that, but a lot of people can't get away with that. So all staff email, like I told you earlier in the show, not one, but 2 friends were promoted because they did this. The executives saw this email and were like, I like the cut of your jib. You gave me a strong handshake, and now you're getting promoted. Why? Because they did an all-staff email, and in the subject line, they put, listen to a conversation with Judy and Ryan at TABPOD. All right. I had not heard of this girl ever until this week, because the story that you're about to tell me about, Judy, is the thing that I had heard about.
Okay. Yes. So Shay Mitchell, who's famously known for she was one of the main girls in Pretty Little Liars. So she had an interview where she talked about her backgrounds and like something would have to do with drinking. She says she's Irish and that she's Spanish, but she's not Spanish. She's Filipino. And so there's like this uproar. So
maybe she just got confused in the same way that I got confused, where I thought the Filipinos were like Pacific Islanders. Or no, I thought they were Pacific Islanders when actually they're Asian. Like maybe she just got confused on where the Philippines is located.
No, girl.
Maybe she thought it was like in the Mediterranean. And she's like, I'm basically Spanish, right? Like how some people are like, I'm basically Italian, right?
No, that's not how it works. Not if you're part of the Filipino community, all right? I've noticed that Filipinos are very proud of their culture. It is what it is. I don't know if you ever see others, like other Asian ethnicities that have like their flag on their cars, like pasted everywhere type thing, but Filipinos, they go hard for their culture.
I mean, the closest I've ever known is just Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Like he was the number one superstar for y'all. And like everyone, like I saw full car wraps of his face. So
he is the face of the Philippines. But anyways, so there's like this uproar with the Filipino community. They're like, girl, you are not Spanish. You're literally half Filipino. Like her mom is Filipino. Like, yes. And there were some others who were trying to like defend her, say like, well, the Philippines were colonized by the Spaniards. We're like, no, we're not talking about our colonizers here. We're talking about where we're actually from.
I want to see her 23andMe, okay? I want to see that. Let's get to the bottom of it that way. Because maybe she does got like, maybe her mom is mixed or something. Probably not.
I don't know her mom like that. I mean, I'm not going to say outright. But yeah, it really threw me off. Like, why would she say that? Like, you're not Spanish, though.
I can't say why she did it other than the fact that people just do that. Like, I feel like there was a whole thing with Tiger Woods back in the day about him, like, I don't identify as black or something like that. Like,
what?
he would identify more with his Asian side because he's mixed, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and I think just based in the way that he was raised in his household or whatever, also growing up in like, Southern California, which there's a lot of black people there too. I don't know what I'm saying right now. I feel like there's a lot of Asian culture where he grew up, right? So I don't know. Like, I honestly, the thing that kills me about this is people swear like there's not an internet. You could kind of get away with it back in the day. But now there's a full-on internet. And like I said, people will 23andMe for you. Okay? Oh, you left a cup somewhere? Send it in. Oh.
Yeah, so that was like a whole thing, and it just didn't sit right with me. Like, girl, you look Filipino. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, it blows my mind.
But then there was this. Then there was this other girl.
Yes.
That was talking about. Well, here I'll play this for you guys so that you can hear it because it was an interesting listen.
The only way that you can convince me an Asian girl is with a white guy because she genuinely likes him and not because she harbors some internalized racism and internalized colorism that her parents and her grandparents and her great-grandparents have implemented so deeply into her that white is beautiful and white is everything. Is if one, the white guy is very handsome. Like, very handsome.
Pause. Who determines if this white guy is very handsome? Does the EP get to determine? Handsome. Because she only is attracted to handsome people, okay?
Attractive people, yeah, right.
So who determines that? We'll continue. I want to know that real quick.
Or if the way that their attractiveness is within the same court. Like they're in the same league.
So now we're just modifying the hotness stuff again.
Equal. Like it drives me so nuts whenever I see a pretty Asian girl with a mid-white.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say to that. Like I'm just gonna stop right there. Yeah,
you don't need to go further.
That is so anti, and I'm not saying that she's trying to be this, but that's so anti what feminism actually is trying to be. Right? And by that, I just mean everyone is trying to be an equal, right? So now you, as this Asian lady, are qualifying what love can be based on your perception of attraction. I mean, okay. Are you attracted to your husband? Or is it just because you feel some internal need to please your parents?
Right. I scrolled through the comments just wanted to see what people had to say about this video.
Real quick, before other people, I want to know, is this something that was in your household where they were like, you should be with a white dude?
No.
Okay. Well,
no, my parents would probably, because they're traditional, they probably would have wanted me to end up with like another Filipino person.
Right. That's what I'm used to hearing is that if you are going to marry someone, you stay in your lane, right? Like that's why I'm so confused. I don't know who to fucking date, okay? Mixed races over here got a bad rap. Anyway.
Look, my I was to say I didn't have a preference. It was the color of the rainbow, it didn't matter. But I'm
sure your dad is hearing this right now. He's like, "Oh, you fucked the whole rainbow. That's great. That's great for me."
I fucked them. That's rude to assume.
Oh,
Ryan.
Okay. So you dated the rainbow and didn't fuck the rainbow? Yeah, right. Okay.
Oh my God. Anyway,
look, I'm not saying you had multiple flavors of each rainbow color. I'm just saying, okay, you tried that one, and that was it. Okay. Having a body count of
I had
8.
A whole rainbow.
I'm just saying, having a body count of 8 different colors isn't a bad thing until you make it a big deal, Judy.
Anyways.
As we know, you
need more meat stick.
Exactly. So you just needed the full rainbow of meat stick.
Oh my God. Let me get back to this lady, all right? Before we get out of pocket here. first of all, when she started with the whole colorism thing, I see where she's coming from, because I remember my grandma telling me to like stay out of the sun or else I would get too dark.
Okay.
And then I think about it, I was like, wow, there's a lot of like soaps and beauty products that are quote unquote lightening or whitening in the Philippines. It is very deeply rooted in the Filipino heritage, where if you were lighter skinned, they saw you as, you know, you were richer, you were wealthier, but then if you were darker, you were out in the fields, you're a worker. Yeah. So that's nothing new. But I'm here telling Keith this. I was like, Keith, do you think this is why I married you? Is that I have this like internal?
And he's over here like, no, it's because of my huge dick. Obviously, that's why you married me. It's because I walked in one day and I threw it on the table and I was like, you're mine now. And it's been a wonderful, loving romance ever since.
You know, been a great 4 years. But anyways,
is this another part of your therapy session? Do you think like at some point you're gonna realize that you initially got with Keith just because of some deep rooted thing, but then like a wonderful Stephanie Meyer book, you realize that it actually was love and it blossomed into this beautiful thing?
Stephanie Meyer, who wrote Twilight?
Yeah, whatever shitty author you can think of, okay? The Twilight lady, the
Why'd
fucking...
you think of Stephanie Meyer, though?
Because she makes terrible books, like...
She was so random pick. I love it.
Yeah, well, I don't read much, sorry. I didn't read those books either. Honestly, I picked it because I thought that was the author who did the Shades of Grey books.
Oh. No.
So, okay. Here we are.
Right.
Here we are.
I was just cracking up at this video, and I'm like, but then I think about it, like there are so many Asian women with white men, and now I love pointing it out to Keith. I was like,
can I be honest about that? I have a theory about this one. Okay, and part of it, and I can't speak on the racial in-home aspect. So if that's part of this whole agenda, then, or not agenda, but whole equation, then, but I honestly feel like Asian women like white dudes in the same way that white women like black dudes. They're just a bit bigger everywhere compared to their national equivalent, right? Mm-hmm. Asian dudes are closer, they're smaller in stature, on average, right? I'm not trying to get run up on some 7-foot Asian Yao Ming looking dude in the fucking park, okay? But in general, like they're smaller stature, they're thinner, all that stuff. And white dudes are a little bit bigger, like let's say 10-15% on average, compared to their Asian counterparts. So women like the bigger hoodie, they like feeling protected, but sometimes they don't want to feel like they're dating this giant of a person. So that's why not every Asian chick can jump to a black guy, right? So she goes intermediate and she sticks with the white guy. And then the white girls are like, well, I could go for something bigger. And they get blacked. I mean, anyway.
Wow. That took a hard ride. I mean, okay. I didn't think you were going to say that, but okay.
It's not one of my favorite websites.
That we know of.
Oh, we definitely know of that one. We definitely know of that one. All right. Before I get too off the rails, we're talking about why relationships happen. Blacked. You had brought up and this is something that's become more of a topic amongst people in the workforce, especially with the way that jobs are right now, in which it's not so much about the job itself, it's about the benefits that you can get from that job, which is really fucking horrible as a society that's where we're going, but we're here, so I can't keep talking about it. But one of those things is PTO. A lot of companies have been starting to offer unlimited PTO.
Right.
And it's kind of a scam, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So you tell me your opinion on it, and I'll give you mine.
So I have not been in a job where I get unlimited PTO, but some of my friends got new jobs and they're like, we have unlimited PTO. And so when she said that, we just like, all my friends and I started just firing questions at her, right? Like, is it really like, is there, like, what if I wanted to take 6 months off? Like, there has to be some kind of caveat to your unlimited PTO because
right.
Obviously you still have to work.
Otherwise, no one would be working.
Yeah, obviously you're going to be, you have to work a certain amount of hours for the year type thing. Like, it doesn't make sense. And I think the biggest downfall with an unlimited PTO is that once you like decide to leave your job, you don't get paid out for any PTO because you don't have any, you don't accrue it.
Right. Okay.
That's one thing. And then I was reading up on people saying like, it's a scam because what if you end up with a shitty manager who doesn't approve your PTO?
I feel like that's a risk regardless of whether it's, full-time or not full-time. Like if the manager doesn't approve it, they're not going to approve it.
Yeah,
so the thing that popped up for me that made me feel like it was a scam is because they do the same thing that credit card companies do with their flight points.
Oh,
blackout dates where you're not allowed to ask for time off during certain times. Mm-hmm. And I get it. You don't want everyone taking off the full summer or, the entire Christmas break or whatever. I totally get that. But at the same time, is it really unlimited if I'm not allowed to use it at certain points?
Yeah, it's like unlimited with an asterisk.
Yeah. And then the other thing too is just, it's like what you said with the manager. At what point is the cutoff? Because at some point, like you might use up a month of PTO and then be like, yeah, I'm going to go take another week off. And then, it's not approved now. And why? Because you have hit that real ass cutoff of you better stay and work. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not so upset about the I'm not so upset about not getting to take it with you. Mm-hmm. And that's just because like some people don't get to take it with them because they used it throughout the year or whatever. Yeah, like depending on when you quit your job, like if you quit in November, don't do that. That's stupid. You are not going to find, unless you have something lined up right then and there, you are not finding anything until they have hit the next fiscal year. Don't do it.
Don't do that.
But unless, but that's what I'm saying. If you, depending on what time of the year you quit or what time of the year they refresh your PTO, usually it's around when the fiscal year starts, sometimes at the beginning of year, it depends. Sometimes I've been in workplaces where it was in like the middle of the summer, right?
Yeah, same.
So that's what I mean. Like, it just depends on that one. It is always nice when your final check has like an extra couple of like 3 extra zeros on it because you had all this PTO that you didn't use.
It is nice.
That's nice. Mm-hmm. But no, I mean, honestly, I think it's one of those things, like you said, it is something that sounds really good, but then it's not actually what it is, just because if it was, it would actually be impossible. The only people who can really utilize that are people who have carte blanche in the company.
Who's that?
That's what I'm saying. Like normally like an executive, like if your company had full-time PTO or what is it called? Unlimited full-time PTO.
I was like,
I just don't want to be at work. So all the PTO, please. If your company had unlimited, I think that your boss would be able to get away with using 2 to 3 months of it a year, more so than you would be able to.
Right.
Right. And that's what I mean by people have carte blanche. And normally those people aren't going to use it anyway because something has driven them to always want more and more and more. And that's why they're in those positions. And that's what I'm not going to get into that part. But yeah, so if it were up to me, I would rather get a known amount of PTO.
Same. Yes, that's me too.
And then just hope that it gets approved. Normally it does, but like you said, if you have the bad manager, regardless of it's unlimited or not, sometimes you ask for it and they're like, Well, Dolores had a day off a week ago, so I don't really know if we can deal with that, extra.
God, I can't imagine working for someone like that. It's been a very long time since I've been in that position with somebody who's like when I worked on a team where we had to not stagger our
Right.
Time off just to make sure there's coverage. Oh my God, I hated that so much. I think going into the corporate world has made me like, I'll never go back to that ever again.
So what I would say, I haven't dealt with that aspect of staggering or whatever in a long time, but what I have dealt with, not at the boutique, but definitely at the Emporium, in which there will be a day like today, in which everyone gets off. And then we'll be like, well, it's Thursday, so can we get the Friday off too? And just, and the boss, because he doesn't want it to be closed because he can't make money if the doors are closed, right?
Yeah.
He'll make up a stupid ass excuse like, everyone's just going to be at home looking at the wall, right? No, asshole. I'm going to be out doing stuff. And even if I am, I would much rather... That's a firework. Holy shit.
Wow, I could hear that.
And even if I am just at home staring at the wall, that's still 1,000 times better than having to be here. Okay? It's just, I hate that there's so, I just wish that there was a national law that made it so that if there is a holiday that falls on the day, like if there is one day in between a weekend and then a holiday, that one day becomes a holiday as well. Like just do it. That's for Mondays and Fridays. Y'all can have the rest of the week. If we get screwed and it's on a Wednesday, then we get screwed and it's on a Wednesday. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
But
Wait, so do you have to go to work tomorrow?
I don't. Because there's a whole lot of stuff going on in my job right now. But no, my boss is a decent human being. So at first what he was going to do is he was going to let us have half days and kind of stagger it, right? Where one person started at 8, they were off at noon. One person started at 9, off at 1, so on and so forth. And then he was just like, well, that's fucking stupid. We'll just have the day off. Right. But that's because he actually cares about his employees. Because the other boss would not have done a half day.
And they're like, nah, you come into the office.
He's like, maybe if it's slow, we could close up at 4. Maybe.
Give you an extra hour to yourself.
Oh, just to go stare at the wall. Give me a fucking break.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, Judy, you got all scientific on me in the pre-show talking about this stuff. And my brain... went full blank. Okay, just full.
Yes.
Talking about electric grids. And I told you, I'm going to tell the audience what I told you. I have heard these words before. I vaguely have an understanding of what that means. But the more that you talked about it, the more confused I got. So what's going on with the Texas electric grid?
Okay, so I don't know. Most people know that Texas, it's on its own grid, meaning...
By most people, I think you mean most people in Texas.
Most people in Texas, but also because I think a lot of people in the country heard about how our electric grid failed during our snowpocalypse a couple years ago, where we weren't prepared. The electric grid failed. Everyone lost power type thing. I don't know if you remember this.
No, I do remember that. When you say that, I just think most people don't think about electric grids in general.
It's true.
And unless I'm wrong about this, I do not believe there's a national electric grid. I think it's mostly how it is in Nevada, in which we have all this energy that we produce and then we send it out to other states.
And it's shared to other states. Right.
Right. So if you're just meaning that Texas doesn't share a grid with any other state.
It's just its own.
Okay, now I'm getting on board.
And we don't get electricity from anywhere else either.
Okay. Is this is another one of those fucking stupid things where you guys are like, oh, we could be our own country. No problem.
I don't know. I don't talk Texas politics like that. That's not my forte. I'm not getting into that either. Y'all can ask my husband that if you're interested. So the news outlets, because we're having like a heat wave, we had a heat wave out here in Texas with no rain in the last like 2-3 weeks. The news was saying like, hey, you should put your thermostat at these certain levels to protect, the power grid so we don't have rolling blackouts, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you guys what is it? Their
Recommendation?
recommendation. Yes,
Okay,
I couldn't think of the word. Went a little blank there, guys.
No, I do it like 5 times a show. You're good.
Okay, so the thermostat recommendations. When you're home, 78 degrees. When you're away, 85 degrees. When you're sleeping, 82 degrees. I looked at this and I go, excuse me?
Yeah, what?
Where are we living that going? I mean, just the 78. I don't think my house is ever at 78 degrees when we're just chilling at home. Like, that's hot to me. I don't know. I'm sure there's other people who are like, girl, 78 is cool for us. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say
money,
this is another one of you feel superior to people type things. My house at 78.
Are you a 78 household? So
I'll put it like this, because for me, I think it's because of the way that our house is approximated, or our apartment is. Mm-hmm. At 78, the blower is still going most of the time. And that's what if our blower wasn't going, then I think I would want to be at 76 and just have it, the air be that temperature. But since the AC unit is blowing all the time, I feel it, and I end up being extra cold and being like, I want to turn it up, but the rest of the house doesn't feel that way. So we leave it at 78. We fluctuate between 76 and 78.
Okay, that's like your bare. Like, you don't go lower than that, you don't go higher than that type thing?
Not normally. And like I said, that's also just because, like, the blower is going so often. Like, if it wasn't blowing cold air and it was getting warm, then probably different. And then at night, those people are psychopaths. 82 degrees at night? Are you out of your mind?
82.
That is insane. We leave it at 78, but we also have a fan. Like, if we didn't have a fan in the room, and I mean like a fan that we put on the ground and we hit go and it blows the extra cold air.
It's like one of those big ass fans.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Okay. It's basically, how they have the swamp boats that just blow. It's basically one of those fans, and I take the ripcord out, and then right, and then it circulates the cold air everywhere. Yeah. And that's something I've done, like, since I've basically lived in Vegas. If I have a room, I am setting it to 78, and I'm having at night, I'm having a fan in there to make it feel just a little extra colder. Mm-hmm. 82 degrees, that's insane. And I do understand the 85 degree thing, because what I will say to that is, now if you have pets, different story. If you have pets, just leave it where it's at. If you are at all concerned about this stuff, then just turn it off when you leave the house.
You should not do that.
Why?
Because when you leave it off, your house could get up to like upper 80s, maybe like 88, 89.
They want you to leave it 85. You're not far away.
True. Yeah, but still. You shouldn't turn it off in general, though. I'm just saying, because then when you kick it back on, your AC puts in so much more effort into cooling your house down after you left it at that,
I would like to see, I don't doubt you, and I've heard this argument many, many times before. I would like to see the numbers on that, because those numbers are the same people those arguments are the same arguments that be like, oh, no, you don't turn your car off. You leave it idle for 50 minutes. It's way more gas to turn your car off and on than let it stay
But where are
idle
you
for an
doing
hour.
that?
Huh?
Where
I'm
are
just
you-
saying in general, people will say just let it be idle. If you have basically if you're staying anywhere for like a 10 to 15 minute period, you just let it idle rather than turn your car off.
Okay.
Because the gas is not as much, or you aren't using as much gas. I don't believe that. Okay.
I've never heard that before.
What I will say is if your house is if we're talking like your house is getting into like the low to mid 90s because it's that hot outside.
Yeah.
Okay, I can understand how the power needed to bring it back down to 78. Okay, I get that. I do. But let's put everything together real quick. When you get home at the end of the day, you're not putting in as much energy. It's not taking as much energy to cool it back down to 78 because the earth is naturally cooling itself. If you were trying to turn it off and then you get home at 3 o'clock and it's at the height of stuff and it's not getting down in temperature for a couple hours, that's different. But if it's already, if at the height of the temperature is 117 and then by the time you get home, it's 90 degrees outside or something like that, it's not the same power usage that it would have been. I say all this as someone who doesn't own a home, so obviously I'm an expert. But I would like to see the numbers on that. I'm just saying.
Okay.
All right, so have you been doing anything to help the grid, like at all?
Nope.
Wow. Wow.
My house stays at a crisp. Well, it depends. I have it automatically set to.
You seem like
temperature.
a 72 degree person.
Oh, when we're not home, it's at 75. When we're home, it's at 72. When we're asleep, it's 68.
Oh my God. What is your energy bill? What's your electric bill?
You want to know what last month was? I have it right here. Let's look. It was last month we were at here we go. My bill's available. 123.
What? Oh my! I fucking hate living in Nevada. I really do.
123.48.
I have a 2-bedroom apartment. I leave it at a higher level than you do, and mine was 150.
You said it constantly runs though, so that's a different like.
No, but I'm saying I also think the rates are just more expensive here.
Maybe.
Okay, like let's not do the whole thing. Like it's constantly running, but yours is also running a lot. If it's at 72. Okay, and 68 when you're asleep. It's just the whole time at night. That's why you have to.
It does not run constantly at night. It doesn't.
It does. You're just asleep. You're asleep in your frozen slumber. You have no idea what's happening. Okay, that it is running the whole time.
Also, I will say though, because Nevada only has one energy company, y'all kind of like stuck with them. Here out in Texas, there's like hundreds.
See, no, but that's part of what I'm saying though, is that we don't get to price match or anything. It's the same thing with our internet. We just get stuck with one person that gives decent internet and then a whole bunch of other people that can give you like a cell phone puck. Like it's and then the rates are jacked as a result. So, but yeah, but that's what I mean is like you guys, the rates here are just stupid. Imagine if I had an actual house. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I can't imagine. I don't know. It's too damn hot out there. Didn't y'all just have like the world record of hottest day?
It was 117 at one point. I don't know. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So we got about 7 minutes left.
Yes, let's talk about this.
And I found this video on Reddit about a lady who wants to normalize sending money for Playdates. So let me play you guys the video real quick.
Yes.
Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay.
Can we normalize sending the other family money for Playdates? So recently, my daughter had a friend over, And I asked her mom for money, and this is how it went. So after the
This
play
is
date,
how
I
it
texted her
went.
mom and I said, thanks for letting Jamie play today. Please help out with your share of the expenses for the play date, totaling $15 via Venmo. Let's do it again sometime.
All right, really? Then she goes
That's it.
into the rest of how
She broke it down on how much.
Yeah, she breaks it down as to what she got. So what we're looking at right now is also a text message. So she told the parents about everything via text after the fact. And then she goes on to talk about how the parents reacted and all that stuff.
Right.
I'm going to go first just
Yes.
because, I know how I would react to this. I don't have an issue paying for part of a play date. I have no issue with that, especially because it's the same thing if like you took the kids to the water park or something like that. I would expect to have to pay for my kid's ticket. So I have no issues paying for whatever stuff. The issue I have with this is that she did some sneaky surprise shit, right? You don't get to tell me after the fact that I owe you $15.
Right.
Okay. If you come to me, it can be day of, it can be a day before, whatever. But if you come to me before and you say, hey, I was thinking that I would get like these art supplies for the kids to play with. It'd be $15 each. If it's cool, can you Venmo me? Definitely.
Yes.
Here's an extra 20 for just thinking outside the box and like whatever, because I'm bad with money. So here's an extra 20. But that's so much different than you just being like, yo, give me my 15.
Right.
Like, that's the feeling I got off of it. Anytime Asher's been on a play date, I have always like wanted to give money, but normally his friends' parents are much financially better, so they feel bad taking money from me. I don't know why. I'm doing fine. Totally. But what did you think as an unbiased outside party? What did you think of this?
I didn't think that was a thing until you brought this up. So then I had to ask my other friends, like, hey, has this ever happened to y'all? Like, what is this? Just because growing up, I never thought that was an issue. Like, none of my parents or none of my friends' parents ever came to my parents saying, like, hey, you should pay for the share type thing. I don't know if it's a different...
So what I will say though,
generation.
I think it's the play date aspect of it, right? Because when I was growing up specifically, and I feel like you're close enough so that when you were growing up, we didn't have play dates. We just went to hang out with our friends.
At their house.
Like,
right?
like I'm going over to my boy's house. I'm going over to my friend's house. But now it's like a whole...
So are those not play dates? Was that not a play date?
I don't think that we would have considered it play dates compared to what they are now. Because now play dates we're actually trying to figure out if we want our kid to actually be in this friendship type thing too.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
like Asher's been on a lot of play dates, a lot of first play dates, hasn't made a lot of second play dates. I don't know why. Everyone should love that kid. But that's what I'm saying is like, that's the vibe that play dates now give me is that it's like, we want to see if we vibe with the parents or we want to see if we vibe with this kid to see if we want him around more often or all that kind of stuff. So that's why I say
Interesting.
that.
Okay. Yeah.
And also play dates are usually between two people who haven't hung out a bunch in the past. Right. So that's why I also say when we were growing up is I'm going to my friend's house because you became friends at school and we just grew up in a time where you kind of had to trust people. So you would go over to their house after school. Right.
Yeah. Right.
And now it's there's too many crazies because the internet shows me everything.
Right.
And I need to inspect all your stuff. And because I'm inspecting all your stuff, you now need to pass judgment on my child on if it's okay for them to come around your child ever again. And so I do think that play dates are different now than what they were, say, back when we were growing up.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I do love that you brought up the fact that it was a surprise, like a sneaky surprise, because that is something I feel as adults, parents, you would have this conversation with the other parent beforehand, especially after seeing that lady's lists of everything that she's charging this mom for, I was like, you know, that's
I missed that
you know,
full thing.
If I had known that it would have caused, you know, and it's not causing an issue, but like if I would have known, I maybe would have sent my daughter with some snacks, so we didn't have to take your supply of
yes,
snacks.
because she says yes, she used supplies and food while she was here.
Yes, she charged her like $1 for an apple that her daughter ate, I think, or some crazy thing like that.
Oh my god!
And I go, if you know.
Oh yeah, I got it right here.
Yes.
Chalk $1, applesauce $1, fruit $1. Sat on the couch wear and tear $1. Yes. Broken LOL doll $5. Okay, that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yes.
3 juice boxes $2. 3 trips to the bathroom $3, and $1 for you. I did not see this part.
You didn't see that part? That really triggered me, saying like, I don't. That would have been the last time I see this lady and her.
See, that's what I'm saying. The play date, it's judgment on both sides.
I was just so dumbfounded that, but it's because it also never happened to me as a kid. Like, my friends' parents are like, "Oh, you want something to eat? Like, oh, we're all gonna have lunch right now. Like, join us, you know, type thing." It was never like.
Well, that's when the economy was okay. All right. I don't know if you remember, Judy, a couple episodes ago, we did how the last 20 years have been the worst. Okay. Back when we were growing up, the economy was kind of decent, so people could afford to have randos come in and feed them.
In the late 90s, before the
early 2000s. Remember, up until 04, we had Hooters Airlines, okay? So we were doing fine. It's when Hooters Airlines dissolved. That's when we started going downhill.
But honestly, though, like, I saw that and I go, if we could have had this conversation beforehand, I don't know if as a mom, like, you're going to charge my daughter every time she uses the restroom.
Right. Well, like $1, like what water rate? How much does water cost where you live?
Right. How did you come up with this? Is it different would it be different for someone that she didn't like?
See,
like, I don't like your kid. I'm gonna charge them like $5 every time they use the bathroom.
Yeah, well, you get a dickhead surcharge. You get a bad influence surcharge.
Yeah.
Look, because like for me, this is how you know that I'm bad at finances, right? Mm-hmm. Because I just saw $15 and I was like, that's not much money. That's understandable with food. How you could come to that, you know, keep it walking. But then when it's broke, I'm almost more annoyed that it's broken down. That
she broke it down? Yeah.
Yeah. Like the only thing that I'm not like, okay, that's a bit much. Yeah, the girl broke the doll. You should replace it, right?
Yes.
My girl didn't even get a sandwich. I just assumed that she got a sandwich. How much would that have been? Like $8.99? For 2 pieces of Wonder Bread and some bologna?
Exactly.
God.
Yeah, that was a little outrageous, and I don't know if I know that's not the norm. I know that's not the norm. As a non-parent, I still know that's not the norm.
No, I've
like, how would you feel if you had a play date and they didn't tell you up front, and they sent you like this bill?
I would tell them exactly what I would be like. I will pay this bill because I understand where you're coming from, but you're a dickhead for not telling me beforehand that there was going to be any kind of monetary expectation. Like, I would tell them that. And if that means that you don't want my kid hanging around you anymore because you and his father disagree, then I completely understand that. But this is absurd. And I would just leave it at that. Oh.
Yeah.
Man. God, I'm sorry.
Would it have changed your mind if they told you up front, like, hey, I'm going to charge blah, blah, blah?
No, because this is okay. So I know that the gong rang, so I'm not gonna beat this into the ground. But this is like why so many people. I know we're gonna get political again. This is why so many people don't like Republicans who are on the liberal side. Let's say it's not so much because of the actual politics. It's because of the way the message is delivered. If you had told me that art supplies and everything were 10, 15 bucks, I would have been like, cool. But when you break it down to, you watch my child go to the bathroom 3 times, that is a little sus to me, just in the fact that you watched it happen 3 times, okay?
Right.
Be a normal parent and go watch soap operas while they play with their crayons, okay? I don't want to get into it anymore, but if I had known that I was going to get sat on couch wear and tear charges.
Wear and tear, yes. She just sat there. Could have sat on the floor, kid.
But that's what I mean. Like, it's the way that the message is delivered. Not only did you say it after the fact on some surprise bullshit, but then you broke it down to the most annoying level. And then you're like, we should normalize this. I don't disagree. I think that should be something that should be normalized in the same way that we have normalized tipping culture to a stupid degree, in which we now have to support waiters, waitresses, and bartenders by tipping them. Right? So that, okay, if we're normalizing that kind of dumbassery, let's do it across the board. But when you make it exponentially stupid, this is how some people feel about like electric vehicles and stuff, because it has cost so much extra money to get these things going at a pace that basically they've been pushed at a pace that they weren't ready for, and as a result, it's cost a lot of extra money to do so, and that makes the message ridiculous. And this is the same thing. It's the electric vehicle of the children's world. Okay, before I go for another 15 minutes talking about this, that's it. I'm done. Okay, I cannot. I'm going to be up for another 4 hours looking at this fucking list of demands, I'm calling it now. Okay.
List of demands. It's exactly
fuck.
It's your invoice.
Also, why is it that a trip to the bathroom is $1, but a juice box is 75 cents?
3 juice. Oh, wait.
3 juice boxes was $2.
Oh, okay.
But a trip to the bathroom is a full dollar. The toilet paper? What, are you charging 10 cents a square? Huh?
Well, that means they would have had to gone in there to see.
Oh, it makes my head hurt. Okay, that's it. I'm done.
Yes.
That's it for a conversation with Judy and Ryan today on this episode. Thank you guys for being here. I do think that we got a lot of therapeutic relief done for Judy. I feel like she is going to be able to walk out of here a stronger woman. So I would like to, to everyone who was involved with that. Ryan, you're amazing. Oh my God, I'm not even talking about me. No, Ryan, you're so amazing. You did such a great. No, it's cured. She's cured. Oh, thank you guys so much for being part of the journey. It was a spiritual one for Judy. It was, it was a guiding one for me. I feel like I'm your spirit guide now. I like that. I like that a lot.
Okay.
All right. Am I Judy's spirit guide? Let me know in the comments or wherever you're following this. At TABPOD. I don't think you can give comments on the podcast, but you can leave a review.
5 stars.
All right. Since this half is burning out just as good as the last half did, I'm just going to stop right there. Hope you guys had a wonderful 4th of July weekend, and we will see you guys on the next episode of A Conversation with Judy and Ryan. Bye.
Bye.